I'm Miss Bree, and I am so excited that you are here for our weekly read aloud. So, I encourage you to grab the Jesus Storybook Bible and read along with me and our weekly guests. Now, I want you to see if you know who our weekly readers are, because guess what? They go to our church. So, grab your book and let's dive right in.
Well, hey kids, my name is Luke, and I get to read to you a story today from the Jesus Storybook Bible. I love this Bible, and me and my family, we read it all the time, and today the story I get to read to you is called The Young Hero and the Horrible Giant. The Young Hero and the Horrible Giant. It's the story of David and Goliath from 1 Samuel 17, and here's how it goes. God's people had some scary enemies, but the Philistines were the scariest of them all. And now the Philistines had come to fight them. The Philistines had a secret weapon called Goliath. Goliath was a terrifying soldier, and worst of all, a giant so strong and so tall and so scary that no one had ever been able to fight him and live to tell the tale. So there they were, the Philistines standing on the top of one hill, God's people standing on top of the other. And every day Goliath came out and shouted, "Send your best soldier to fight me. If he wins, we will be your slaves. But if we win, you will be our slaves." No one spoke. No one moved. "Chickens," Goliath bellowed. "Your God can't save you. I'll rip your heads off and have you on toast." His beady, greedy eyes glowered at them hungrily from under his horrible helmet, as if any minute he really might just gobble them all up. And he laughed, his terrible laugh. "Ha, ha, ha, ha," it bellowed, echoing horribly around and around the dry valley. Well, Goliath might just as well have been a green, slimy monster with 3 heads, because God's people froze with fear. Their eyes glazed over and they turned deathly pale. They knew if someone didn't save them and do something quick, but God would do something. He would send someone to save them. Now, you remember that David was the youngest son of Jesse? Well, his brothers were soldiers in the army. One day, when David brought his brothers their lunches, he saw Goliath and how scared everyone was. "Don't be afraid," David said. "I'll fight him for you." "You're only a little shepherd boy," the king said, "and Goliath is a great soldier. How will you fight him?" "God will help me," David said. So the king gave David his royal armor to wear, but it was too heavy and too big, and David couldn't even walk. I won't need all this," David said. Instead, David picked out 5 smooth stones from the stream. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Took his sling, and he walked toward Goliath, step by step. Well, Goliath walked toward David. Thud, thud, thud. "You?" Goliath peered down at the small boy. "I'm little," David shouted up to him, "but God is great." Goliath laughed, an even terribler laugh than usual. "Ha, ha, ha, ha," it went. With just one swing of his giant sword, Goliath could finish the boy off. But David kept going. "It isn't how strong you are or how many swords and spears you have that will save you. It is God who saves you. This is God's battle, and God always wins his battles." David put a stone in his sling, swung it around, and let it go. The little stone flew, whizzed through the air like a bullet, and it struck Goliath, thud, right between the eyes. Goliath stopped laughing. He stumbled and staggered and crash, fell dead. When the Philistines saw Goliath was dead, they ran away. And when God's people saw them running away, they cheered. God had saved his people. David was a hero. Many years later, God would send his people another young hero to fight for them and to save them. But this hero would fight the greatest battle the world has ever known. The end.
Hey, it's me again. I hope you really enjoyed reading today's story. I encourage you to keep reading that same story or just watch this video over and over throughout the week, because every week the next chapter of the Jesus Storybook Bible will come out every single Saturday. Now, this is for you parents. Down in the description box below, we will have some information, just a little short brief info that will encourage you to have some memory verses and some Bible truth that will go along with each week. So, also, if you haven't signed up for our weekly emails, please click the link below so you can sign up for our Next Gen emails so you know what's happening at the church and we can keep in contact. So, thank you so much for tuning into our weekly read alouds. We miss you, we're praying for you, and I hope you have a blessed week.